Holy cow! Welcome to Donnie's Hangout Adventures. And as I record this on Saturday, Mom's been gone a little bit over a week. Tweedledee and Tweedledum, otherwise, I guess they're my brother and sister. I'm not even quite sure. Can I get a test done to see if they are? God, because I'm starting to wonder at this point because it's been over a week. It's been over a week. And they have done nothing, literally nothing, with the obituary. There's nothing. It don't take this long. Not usually. Never. It never takes over a week. And as I'm recording this on Saturday, there's still no obituary. Maybe Tweedledee and Tweedledum don't think Mom deserves one. I think she does. But for some reason, Tweedledee and Tweedledum are in charge of this. I could have had it done by now. I could have had it done. I could have had it in the obituary. I could have had the funeral plan or the cremation. Whatever you're going to do. But Tweedledee and Tweedledum, I don't think they know what they're doing. Between them, they have half a brain. I'm not even sure it's half of a brain between the two. It's unbelievable at this point that there's no obituary. I mean, what are they doing with their time? And I've even heard that my so-called sister, we'll call her Tweedledee, because obviously that was Tweedledum. Well, I've heard reports that she's quit her job and she lives in Kansas and she's back here visiting Tweedledum. And leave the paper alone, cat. So I don't even know what's going on. I don't even know what they're doing with their time. I'm going to have to restart this video. Holy cow. Welcome to Donnie's Hangout Adventures. And well, this is on Saturday. I'm not sure when I'll get this uploaded. Hopefully Monday. And as I record this, God, Tweedledee, which will be my sister, and Tweedledum, which is my brother. You know, I thought for years that these two hated each other like Cain and Abel. I really did. I thought these two hated each other. But now they're in thick like a couple of cockroaches having sex. I mean, they're really in thick. How long have they been working together, I wonder? I just wonder. So as I record this, Mom's been gone for over a week. And there's no obituary. What are they doing with their damn time? I remember when Mom was still alive and, Dad had died. She had this all done within a few days while she's in mourning. But, I'm sure they're in mourning. Especially Tweedledum losing that money. That's what it was about with him. I could have had this done in less than a week. I could have had the obituary done, the funeral, if there was going to be a funeral, and cremation. I could have had it all done inside in less than a week. But no, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, they don't have no idea what they're doing. There was a reason Mom had me as POA until Tweedledum forged a signature and he became POA, and that's why. Now, I know Mom wasn't of sound mind in the last few months. That was to be expected, especially with a massive stroke. And I get that. But I think Tweedledee, think that there's a state with money. There's no money. There's no money. There was money, but Tweedledum blew through that quicker than shit. Should have went on their deaths, quite frankly. So, and okay. I am going to do a tribute. This is my way of doing a tribute to Mom. I'm going to have to do this in parts. I'm going to try to do it on a whole video, but I will have to take, slight breaks from it because it's going to be incredibly tough to do as it is. But I will do my version of a tribute to Mom. That's the best way I know how to honor what she was, what type of mom she was, what type of mom she was to me. And I was, no matter what Tweedledee and Tweedledum says, I actually have proof that she wrote down that we were close. There was no question. We were close for 46 years. I have something. This is proof. This is absolute proof. And I wish I would have thought of this when Brother turned me into DHS. I wish I would have thought of it, but I didn't. My mind was a mush then. I have Mom. She typed this out. It's her life story. It also has Dad's life story. I wish I would have known then that there was Dad's life story was in there, but I did not know that. She only wanted one person to have this. Not Tweedledum, not Tweedledee.
Oh no, she had even told you in front of me, so I know.
Yeah, she even told me in front of my wife. She told me way before my wife was even in the picture. She told me this. She told me it's like in 2016 that she wanted me to have this. She even told me where it was, so I had an idea where it was in her place. She even told me where it was. And I remember here, I just thought of something. Here about a couple weeks before Mom died, Tweedledee, the one that's in Kansas, the sister, she was wanting to get a hold of this. Makes you wonder if they knew something was going to happen because she really wanted this really, really bad. Really, really bad. You know what? I got it. And there's only one way. I'll give it to you. From my cold, dead fingers. That's the only way you're going to get this. Because I'm going to keep it. And I am going to share some stuff in here. I'm not sure what. I have ideas what I'm going to share in here. There's some stuff I'm not going to share that's in here. They're called stuff that you probably shouldn't share on videos because there's a lot of secrets from families. I shouldn't want. As much as I don't like Tweedledee and Tweedledum, I don't want some of their secrets to get out.
No.
Or do I? But
Probably why they didn't want you to have it.
Probably is going to burn this.
Really?
That's a good possibility. So this will be a tribute to, I know it doesn't seem like it the way I started this, but this will be a tribute to Mom.
It will.
I'm going to try to do this in one long part. I'm going to try to do it in one long part. If not, I will break it up into two parts, two different videos. But I'm going to try to do this in one big part. And this will be a pretty extensive video. It will be a pretty extensive video, and I will have a lot to cover with Mom. And it's I'm not going to say it's going to be fun, but it's going to be quite fun looking over, thinking back on some of the memories that me and Mom did over the years. And I will be talking about the type of person that she was, the way I remember her pre-stroke. And you know what? I won't. This will take time to do because there might be a few times I might have to stop the video because I don't want to be crying on the video and try to do the video. But you know what? Once I think over what I'm going to cover first, I will get started with this. And what, little Roberta? I know you never got a chance to meet Mom, but someday you will. Someday you will. And I know, Just a Cow, you absolutely love Mom. I know, Just a Cow. I remember a few years ago, and Mom did this until she retired, permanently. and she would, clean houses, and businesses and stuff like that. Just sort of kept her busy in her free time because she was pretty much retired and just wanted something to do in her spare time. And there was this business on Church Street that she worked for. It's a trophy shop, and a guy named Roger used to have it, and then he ended up selling it. Not sure why he sold it, but he ended up selling the business and selling it to somebody else. And Roger and Mom and even Dad, they got along, and they really, really liked each other, and they ended up becoming friends. And she ended up working, I don't know, in his place a couple years until he sold it. And then, as the case, Tweedledum didn't like the guy for some odd unknown reason that was never explained. And even Mom, on her life story, was talking about this. And she goes, we still like Roger, but something happened between Sean and Roger, and I don't know if I'll ever find out what happened there. You know what? I think she did find out what happened, because there was something that happened there. And she even said, maybe one day we can take a drive to his house and see him. I wonder if her and Dad ever did that. I do wonder if her and Dad ever went out to his place and seen him one last time. I don't know. I'll never know, because there's nothing on this life story if she actually did that. And I do wonder if that's something that she never got a chance to doing. And you know what? Maybe I should look up this Roger, and maybe he could shed some light on what happened. I mean, I would really, really like to know. Now, I don't put all the blame on Tweedledee and Tweedledum. There's another idiot running around. Don't know what to call her in this situation, because we already could call her Tweedledum too. I don't know. She was supposed to be a family friend. Her and Mom were supposed to be best friends, but she didn't have the common decency to even tell me that Mom had died. And you think that's the... You know what? You won't believe this next part. Her and Tweedledum used to date back in the day. Yeah, I know.
Our friend Michelle remembers that.
Yeah.
They didn't get along so well.
And, Mom brings this up. She brings this up in her life story. And she even said, Linda and Sean's relationship caused a lot of problems over the years. Money was a big part of it at times. Tweedledum, I know, she calls him Sean, but he's Tweedledum. Always thought I took Linda's side. That's her name, by the way. But that wasn't always true. I guess jealousy was involved too. Yeah, that's the problem with Tweedledum, is he had a lot of jealousy over the years. And I remember when I was a kid, we were living on, I remember this. I don't know if the house is still there. I'm going to have to go out there and take a gander, see if the house is still there. We were living on Waverly at the time. And Tweedledum and this family friend, ex-family friend, were dating at the time, and they were getting into an argument. And one of them slammed the screen door and knocked Mom off, and Tweedledum and her, they continued arguing out in the yard, and there's Mom laying on the ground, actually inside the house on the floor. And I noticed that they weren't doing anything. They weren't really helping. They were just busy arguing. And so I looked at Mom, and I was like probably 6, 7 years old. I wasn't very old. And I ended up looking at Mom, and I go, "You all right, Mommy?" She's like, "Call Grandma. I'll be okay." And they weren't checking on her. I was the only one that actually did care. And she even said, Mom even said here on this, she's like, our relationship was up and down over the years, and I forgot a lot of it had stemmed over money. I had forgotten about that. I really did. I don't know how this could not, it just sort of escaped me. I remember times Linda was needing money, probably for alcohol, more than likely. And she would borrow $50 from mom, and then she would totally forget that mom had loaned her money, and it'd be a couple or 3 years before she would even give the money back to mom. I had clearly forgotten this. I can't believe I had forgotten it. But thanks to mom's life story and her writing this stuff down, I just remembered this stuff. Random shit that you randomly forget, that you sometimes take somebody else to bring something up. I have it in print. Also over there somewhere, I have a DHS report that says
Sean lied.
Sean basically, Tweedledum basically lied, saying that mom and me were never close. I have it in here in print that mom actually wrote down on it. She typed this out, by the way. This is not handwritten. No, this is all typed out on a typewriter. And she actually wrote in here, Donnie and I, remember third person, this is mom, when she wrote this down. Donnie and I have a special relationship. It's true. We did.
I knew that before I even got with you.
And it's almost a little it's almost like she saw, I hate to say this, it's almost like she saw the future in this, because she wrote something in here that's almost unbelievable. She goes, you just have to remember the good times. Yeah, you do, especially now with what's happened. And I am still bothered, and I will always be bothered, that Tweedledum had to tell DHS that me and mom never had a close relationship, when it's right here typed out that we were close.
He did that because he didn't think that they'd ever find out.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe someday one of these people that were involved in keeping her from you will see this video.
Yeah, hopefully they will. Hopefully they will.
A little too late.
Little too late for that. And you know what? It's all here, right here in writing. And she says it in here several times,
Very
actually.
deep.
It's just I can't share everything in here, but that's something I did want to share, is that mom put it in writing that we were close and we had a special relationship. And that bothers Sean, especially in the part I talked about the family friend. He was jealous. He was jealous. He was always jealous. I'm trying to make this a tribute to mom, and I will. There's some other stuff I want to talk about, memory stuff, what type of person mom was. But I did want to bring this up because I feel like that's part of it. It's unfortunately part of it because of what Tweedledum did. And trust me, Tweedledee's in it. You know what? I wanted to bring up Tweedledee in this, but she's really not in this life story much. The stuff when she was a teenager, but that's about it. Because she wasn't around a whole lot. She barely talked to mom over the years.
Why did she come up here to Iowa and been around so long? They haven't even worked on an obituary.
Yeah, and there's still no obituary as I record this, and it's midday Saturday.
So what has she been up in Iowa for, really? Confusing.
I don't know. Can't be money because there is no money. Who knows with Tweedledee and Tweedledum? I was the only one of 4 kids. Yeah, mom had 4. I didn't mention the other one, and moving on. So mom had 4 kids, and I was the only one that actually graduated from high school. 1996. Now, I do remember this. This is from mom's point of view, and I'll back it up. It's true. It poured down rain on Donnie's graduation day. Yeah, we were going to have it over at Schaefer Stadium, and it was windy, and it was rain. It was a miserable afternoon. It It was horrible. So they had to move it over to Evan. I think it was actually better. It made it better. So Mom, and she said this in the life story, she said, I ended up taking a cab there. It was so nice watching the students walk up in their caps and gowns and getting their diplomas. I took a picture of Donnie, still have that picture, walking up the aisle to get his diploma. His teacher, Joe Curran, came up when it was over and congratulated him and said, you did it, Donnie. Donnie said, no, Mom, we did it. His teacher said he had worked in the school system for over 15 years and never saw a mother that was always there for a child. That was quite a tribute to me. That was the proudest day of my life. I enlarged the picture and she put it on the wall. Of course, my biological father forgot was my graduation day. But that was just, like what Mom said. But that was just Ralph for you. Donnie has learned it over the years to accept him as he is. He knows his dad loves him in his own way. I remember, graduation day didn't really mean much to me. It didn't really mean much to me. I graduated. Big deal. I didn't really care. I knew it meant more to Mom than to me. I just handed her my diploma, and that's when she said, you did it. I said, no, we did it. And it didn't really mean much to me. It really didn't. I graduated. I just so what? But I wanted to graduate for Mom because none of her kids had graduated from high school. Neither did Mom. Mom, one of the regrets she had in life, she never graduated from high school. She actually regretted that. It was more of a motivation for me to actually graduate and, give her a diploma. And she had a diploma in her room for years. Years. She had it set up. She was very, very proud of, that one of her kids did graduate. And of course, the one kid that did graduate was the one that she was closest with. And I didn't, like I said, it didn't mean much to me. I didn't care. I didn't care if I graduated or not. But it meant the world to Mom. It was one of her proudest moments. I remember when the Coliseum was here. Who remembers the Coliseum?
I do.
And it was impossible to have any type of an event there. Especially having country acts come here, wrestling, or what my wife likes going to, hairball. It's impossible to do those. You couldn't do those with the old Coliseum. It was an aging building. So when they added Bridgeview, they could do that. They could bring the stuff here to where people could live out a dream. And that's absolutely true. I absolutely love the Bridgeview. I think it's great for Ottumwa. And when I seen one day back in, I think it was 2013, somewhere around there, not sure exactly the year, that the Oak Ridge Boys were going to be here, I thought, what a great way for Mom to live out a dream. She had never been to a concert. Neither had I. One thing I've been to is a wrestling event. I've been to quite a few actually at Bridgeview. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to buy some tickets. Bought me and Mom tickets for Oak Ridge Boys. And she included this in her life story. She said we had front row seats. Yep, I spent a little bit extra money to do that. I wanted some good seats for Mom to enjoy it. And for me to enjoy it too. But I got more out of enjoyment out of having Mom having a good time. It was really neat. Donnie took all kinds of pictures. I had a favorite guy that came to the end of the stage where I was sitting, and I swore he was singing directly to me. He had to be. No one else was down there. She would actually refer to that's my guy. What she would say. It's just sort of funny. A few people in front were going up and shaking their hands, and I got to shake my favorite guy too. She mentioned it there. I was so tickled about it. I always dream of going to a concert one day. I never dreamed it would be them. The crowd just roared. They were so great. Their last song was Elvira. They had a standing ovation. We bought some of their CDs. I wish I still had those CDs, but I don't. I don't know what happened to them. And Donnie bought a shirt. It was quite a crowd. I will never forget it. And she talked about Bridgeview. There had been different events there, and another one is Kenny Rogers. I'm gonna talk about that too. And she said here she's getting excited about that. That's the next one I'm gonna talk about. And you know what? It was a thrill. It was a thrill to go to the Oak Ridge Boys with Mom. I absolutely loved it. And yes, we also went to see Kenny Rogers. I'm not sure where that's at in this, but I'm sure it's in here. Here it is. And I'll go ahead and, just kill two birds with one stone. And this was in December 2013. And the Kenny Rogers concert, I remember he was doing a farewell tour. This was one of his last concerts he did, because about 6 months or so later, he ended up retiring. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. I was going to go ahead and wait to do it, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about this one. This was one of the last concerts that me and Mom attended. We tried to go to Oak Ridge Boys a second time, but red strobes, lights, and all that was bothering me. It was even bothering Mom. So about the Kenny Rogers concert in 2013 was on December 20th. I forgot that it was right before Christmas. I thought it was like at the beginning of December, but no. Donnie and I got all decked out, getting ready to go. It was snowing and had been raining. The streets were slick. I asked John Bullock, that was an old family friend. He ended up dying, a few years ago. To come and drop us off at Happy Joe's. I figured we could walk 3 blocks. Yeah, that was a mistake. We got a bite to eat and started out walking. It was really slick. This is funny what Mom says. Even that was fun. How was that fun? That it's almost slick and we almost fell. Okay, Mom. Donnie kept saying we're gaining on him. It was funny. We watched out after he watched out after me to see I didn't fall. I was more worried about Mom falling than me. That is so sad, but so me. How much I loved Mom and how close we were. We had the best seats in the whole place. Front row, right in the middle. The only way we could have been any closer would be on stage. That's what she said. It was great. Kenny really had it all. From actor to singer. He was even a great comedian. He had everyone roaring in their seats. That's the way the show started out. Kenny joked around with the guy that sat right beside us. His name was Bob. I have no idea who Bob is. Oh, anyway. It was just hilarious. Then he started singing his favorite hits. There was a lady singer with him. Her name was Linda Davis. I forgot she was there. She was really good. She had a great voice and was very pretty and had a great personality. They put together a fantastic Christmas show. There was a choir and little kids in it. The show was phenomenal. I mean, it was just great. I remember this show very vividly. Kenny and Linda were great with the kids. We enjoyed it so much. We bought shirts and a couple CDs. And once again, I wish I still had those CDs, but they got lost over time. Or Pito Dumb threw them away. And a good picture of Kenny. I also bought his book. Maybe we spent too much money, but it was worth it. Donnie said it was a bonus Christmas present to me. That made me so proud and happy. Aw. And we took a cab home. We didn't want Steve, Dad, to get out on the ice. As I said before, it was just great. Yeah, I took Mom to 3 concerts. Kenny Rogers, the Oak Ridge Boys. We went a second time to Oak Ridge Boys, but that was a dud because of the red strobes and all that, and I discussed. Yeah. And, the concerts were great. I don't regret doing it. I wish we could have done it more, but the red strobes always affected me. I wanted to do more concerts, but you know what? Mom was getting older at that time, and those were fun memories that only I have. Nobody else does. I remember I have the pictures on Facebook. If I ever get back to having my internet again, I'm gonna show. I'll re-upload some of those pictures. There are some great pictures, and there's some great pictures of Mom. No question, she was absolutely enjoying herself, seeing two of the favorites of hers, Kenny Rogers and the Oak Ridge Boys. And the funny thing about Kenny Rogers, this is one of his last concerts. 6 months later, he retired, and a couple years later, he died. So we got to see one of his last concerts. I thought I would have to make this at least 2 parts. So I'm going to end this as part 1, and then I will do a part 2, which I will eventually upload. I'll upload them one at a time when I'm on public Wi-Fi. But this will end part 1. Be expecting part 2 in the near future. Me and Mom are saying that's all for now.
That's all for now.